Let's understand what exactly is a time series data and the concept of stationarity of time series, and we will see some related concepts related to both of these, right? So what exactly is a time series? You take any data, if you are collecting it at regular time intervals, then that becomes a time series data. It doesn't matter what frequency you are collecting. It could be collecting it on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on an hourly basis, every second. It doesn't matter. As long as you are collecting it at regular intervals, then it is called a time series, right? What are some typical examples? A very common, a very practically used time series data is the stock price data. Stock price data, typically you will see it at a daily level, right? On a daily basis, you will see what is the maximum minimum price of a stock, what is the closing price, what is the opening price, and such. It is not mandatory that stock price needs to be daily. It can also be at monthly level, even yearly level. But typically, you will see it at daily level. Another example could be weather data. Another one, the sales data. Sales data is economically and commercially very important, because if you take any company, any business in the world, the very first thing that they want to do before they start any type of planning is forecast how many amount of the product that they are going to sell. Based on that forecast, they will do all the planning related to that forecast. That's why forecasting how many units you are going to sell into the future is very commercially important, because it is only after this forecast of sales is established, only after the forecast of sales is established, you will do all your procurement, manufacturing, and all your production planning. Everything depends on the forecast of your sales data. That's why it's very important. Another example, let's look at a couple more. The number of calls at a call center, right? This is very common. Number of visitors coming to a store, coming to a website, coming to a restaurant, whatever the place, the number of visitors visiting your business, that is also very important. All right. So how does a typical time series look like? Definitely a time series will have a date or time column, right? Definitely this column should be there. It can be a column depending on what data structure you are dealing with. If it is a pandas data frame or an R data frame, whatever format, tabular format, you will definitely have a date and time, right? That is one information. Another information is the value of the series itself. Whatever data that you are watching, that value should be there, and that is captured at regular intervals, like I said. Right? This should be regular. Now, in addition to the main data, you will also have supporting data, data that helps to predict your quantity that you are interested in. Suppose if the Y here is sales, what information additionally can help you predict the sales? An information could be whether the given day is a holiday or not, right? Sometimes the sales may be determined whether it rained or not in a given day, right? So many other factors are involved. All of this data may also be present in a time series. Right? When multiple data is present, it is called a multi-dimensional time series, or it's also called multivariate time series. That is multivariate. Then what is univariate? If you have only the date and the time column, then it is univariate time series. If you have only the date and the time, only this data, this will be univariate. If you're asking date is also a variable, yeah, date is also a variable, but the main variable that we are interested in is the Y, right? From date and time, multiple variables can be derived. Whether the given date is a weekend or not, weekday or not, these kind of variables can be derived from date and time. But fundamentally, this is the main variable that we are dealing with, right? That's why it's called univariate. If you have more variables, it's called multidimensional or multivariate. Now, what is a lag and a lead variable? We saw a time series where you had the date and the value, right? You had the date and the value. Let's suppose this is D1, D2, D3, D4, and so on. And the value, let's take for understanding, is 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for simplicity, I'm writing as 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Suppose if this is your time series data, the lag of the time series, the lag of a series is nothing but, suppose let's say lag 1 of y. What this means is, when y is having a current value, the lag 1 of y will have the previous value, right? When y is equal to 2, lag 1 of y will be 1. When y equal to 3, lag 1 of y will be 2, and so on. Because this variable is lagging by 1 unit, right? Lagging by 1 unit of time, it's called lag 1 of y. Then what would lag 2 of y look like? When this is 2, and this is 3, this will be 1. When this is 4, this will be 2, and so on. This is the concept of lag. Then what would be a lead? Lead 1 of y would be when y equal to 1, lead 1 of y will be leading it by 1 unit. So this will be 2, this will be 3, and so on. That's the concept. Lags are more important because you can use the lag variables in order to predict the future value of y. For example, if you want to predict the value of the next observation, this you want to know, right? This is a y variable. To predict this, the values of your lags will be known at this point. At this point, this value will be 6 and this value will be 5. So you can use lags of y to model and forecast y. That's the concept. And that's why lags are very useful variables. Whereas the lead of the variable will not be known at that point. This value is 7. This will be 8. Because 7 itself is not known. Right? If you are computing the lead, this value will not be present. This will be blank. This cell will be blank. Likewise, for lags, these cells will be blank. This should be 8. But we won't know the value here because we have seen the series only till the point d6. And at that point, the value is 6. Now, what is a stationary time series? Or the concept of the stationarity of a series, right? What exactly it is? Stationarity is nothing but a condition of a series or the state of a series where the mean and the variance of the series does not change over time. Let's see some examples. Say you have a series that looks like this. The x-axis is time and y-axis is the value. Now this has a positive trend. This is one example. This is very common. Another case could be the series could be a negative trend. The value of the series can be falling with time. This is negative trend. Another example, certain series will have repetitive patterns. This has a seasonality to it. Very predictive repetitive pattern, and these repetitions are happening at regular time intervals. If that is the case, then there is a seasonality to your series. And in certain other cases, you will see a series do something like this. As time goes on, the variance of the series increases. And the variance increases as the time goes on. Right? A series where the mean of the series remains stable, the mean lies here itself, and the variance is also similar. It doesn't increase with time. Only this series is a stationary series because the mean of the series is changing with time. The mean is not constant here. Likewise, the mean is not constant here also. Now you might say that the mean is overall the mean is lying here only, right? Overall, over a period of time, the mean is lying here only. But at regular intervals, the mean at these points are consistently different from mean at these points. There's a certain amount of predictable pattern to it in the mean itself. So there's a different mean at different points in time. Right? This is also a mean problem. And here it is a variance problem. The variance of the series increases with time. The mean does not change. The mean remains at the same level over time, right? The mean remains at the same level, but variance changes. That's why this is not stationary. This is not stationary. Now, let's understand why stationarity is important. The reason is there's a special theorem called the Wall's decomposition theorem, which states that any stationary series can be modeled using an ARMA process. AR for autoregressive and MA for moving average. This is a very common time series modeling and forecasting approach. And for this to work, you need to first make your series stationary. From that is the point where the concept of ARIMA arised. In ARIMA, I is the integration part. This is the process of making a non-stationary series as a stationary series. How do we make a non-stationary series as a stationary series? There are two approaches. Do some type of transformation of a series. The transformation could be a log transformation, a square root transformation. Some sort of transformation will typically make a non-stationary series to a stationary series, and that is very much possible. But a more reliable approach is differencing a series. What does differencing mean? Suppose this is your series. Let's take 1, 3, 5, 10, 21, and so on. You have a series like this. Differencing means you are subtracting the current value from the next value. So the differenced series would be 3 minus 1, 5 minus 3, 10 minus 5, and so on. So this is 2, 2, 5, 11, and so on. This is the differential series. Now this also doesn't look stationary, right? To make it, typically differencing it one time itself will make the series stationary. If it is still not stationary, then what you would do is difference it one more time. So 2 minus 2 is 0, 5 minus 2 is 3, 11 minus 5 is 6, and so on. And we continue to difference it until the series becomes stationary. Now this is one approach. Differencing is one approach. This is the very commonly used approach. If differencing is not working, you could try the transformation approach. Taking a log. For example, this doesn't seem to be approaching stationarity itself. But if you take a log of the series, this seems to be exponentially increasing, right? If that is the series, taking a log of that series will make it stationary. And making it stationary is necessary for you to use the autoregressive moving average. This will help you understand the behavior or the nature of the series. And by understanding the nature, you will be able to forecast it into the future also.